What's good folks, it's Dark19 aka Papa Bustatine and welcome to What If Naruto Was the Heir of Doom Part 1. Please check the description for author and like, comment, subscribe and share, but besides all that, enjoy the video. Chapter 1. For many years, my main desire was to be loved, to have a parent. Never before had I imagined that it will be fulfilled. Naruto Von Doom. Victor Von Doom required an heir. He understood that even if he will sire a child, he or she may not have needed criteria or potential. So he just used magic to search for somebody with potential equal to his own and without a parent, so nobody will have deeper influence on the child aside from himself. The wish of the two was granted. 3 years of vigorous physical training, learning magical arts and understanding the scientific powers, and even more harsher training to control his demonic powers, given to him by his biological parents, Naruto Von Doom, forsaking the surname given to him many years ago, became the secret heir of Victor Von Doom. All that was left is one final test. Naruto kneeled in front of his father, clad in his new armor made of eternium fusion of adamantium and vibranium. "Rise, my son. There is no reason for person with power and will equal to my own, to kneel before me," said Victor. "Yes, father," said Naruto, raising to his feet. "Today, you start your path to greatness, like I did once," said Doom. "Today, you will prepare to build or conquer a kingdom for yourself. Today, I will send you to another Earth, for your final test." Purple lightning from his hand struck the surprised Naruto. I returned to my senses on the wasteland. It seemed that my father randomly had chosen a word for me to build a kingdom in. Kilometers around me were covered in dead bodies and destroyed war tech. Whatever happened here certainly wasn't pretty. I continued my path using Kurama's power to locate the living beings. I followed the trail and it led me to the village attacked by the bandits. I noticed that weapons used by them are at least equal to that of 21st century. Not my century, but I saw many alternative dimensions to tell how the technology will evolve with and without interference of some aliens, evil geniuses and gods. I saw how one of the bandits raised his battle knife upon the young child, who tried to protect his mother. And I acted. Severed head fell on the ground, blood and bodies ripped asunder fell on the earth seconds later. And in ground soaked in blood people kneeled before me. Before their savior. Under my mask I smirked. Maybe this world will not be as bad as I thought. It took Naruto a year. Only a year later, he, after conquering the no man's land and calling it the Kingdom of Latveria, crowned himself as Naruto I, or as he preferred, King Doom. Just like his father before himself, he started to build his kingdom from scratch. Before it was no man's land, different mercenary bands roamed the territory that another dimension was called Latveria. No country wanted to deal with it, to dirty their hands, to deal with the crap that the unification of Latveria will produce. When Naruto was crowned, nobody cared. They thought that he is another one-day ruler. When they understood their mistake, it was too late. Naruto knew about the hidden riches in Latveria's soil and used them as economical booster. He managed to create his laboratory that was actually equal to that of his father. When rulers of other states decided to deal with him, army of Doombots awaited them. Goddess of Victory was on the Naruto's side. However, due to this, he was seen as ruthless and merciless dictator. Propaganda of other nations was rather powerful to fight against, especially with his resources. So he decided to focus on raising the level of life of his subjects. Naruto worked his fingers to the bone, and a year later he was one of the greatest leaders in the pharmacy. They couldn't raise his head upon him without causing the great damage to their precious economy. All in all, he ruled the second Swiss. He reached the so-wanted neutrality and was a king in his own country, but to solidify his position he needed allies. Doom Corporation received several propositions from different companies. The one who was most local about it was LexCorp. Star Labs wanted them more like funds than an ally, and Wayne Industries sent an invitation just out of simple courtesy. However, Naruto will answer it. He will visit Mr. Wayne in Gotham. But before, he needed to deal with unwelcomed guest. He levitated over the castle's tower. Golden cape, golden gloves, golden boots, dark blue tights and helmet of fate. Dr. Fate. Unlike him in his dark silver armor and black cape, Naruto looked like some dark wizard. "I presume you are the tyrant of Latveria?" asked Dr. Fate. "I'm not a tyrant, I forged this country myself. I'm the rightful king of Latveria." "That may be, but your presence here is anomaly, and I, as sorcerer supreme of this dimension, must deal with you accordingly," said Fate. "Try me," said Naruto as magical energy focused near his fists. However, both were stopped as in bright flash of light they appeared in the central of the large hall. Fate and Naruto looked around. They were surrounded by different people. Fate. They turned to see a man in brown coat. He spoke with British accent and Naruto didn't like him from the first glance. What the fuck are you and me are doing here? Why are you speaking like this is my doing? Asked Fate. Maybe because you are the Sorcerer Supreme? Asked female voice behind him. To them moved a woman with long black hair. She was clad as stage performer, or rather illusionist. Hey baby, cheerfully said the man, who spoke with them first. Constantine, said she with noticeable disdain in her voice. And here I thought what smelled here? Hey Zatanna, don't so serious. I can bet that this is the golden bucket, who must be blamed. I seriously doubt that, said another female voice. It was a girl in dark purple cape. Naruto could barely see her chin, with dangerously pale skin. Raven, said Constantine. What do we owe the pleasure? Golden Bucket isn't the one who did this, even the other one with the immense power wasn't, said she nodding at the Naruto. Then why all of us here? Asked Constantine. However, their chat was stopped by the sound of booming voices, which spoke as one. Hear US mortals. By the order of Supreme the challenge will start soon. Challenge? What does it mean? Asked Fate. What kind of challenge? A battle royal one. Answered Naruto. And if it the one I think about that means one certain thing. Which is? Asked Raven. The fact that Bucket's position of Sorcerer Supreme is suspended. What? Screamed the Fate. What kind of madness are you speaking about? Every period of time, chosen by supreme magical beings of each universe, a challenge of sorts is held. A battle for the title of the Sorcerer Supreme. But why were you chosen? Asked Fate. Will of Supreme, said Naruto. So, all of us will fight? Asked Constantine. What? Afraid that the lady will kick your ass for some, without a doubt, rightful reason? Asked Naruto. Constantine scoffed. Look, who is talking? With all that armor and dark cape, you look like third-rate classical black wizard from some old fantasy boo. Uck. Shot from the Naruto's hand forced Constantine shut his mouth, and without emotion he fell to the floor. One more thing. My armor is filled with the greatest tech you can dream of. So I'm very modern mage. Answered Naruto to the crawling form of Constantine on the floor. Zatanna laughed at the Constantine's misery. Oh, I don't know about you guys, but seeing this jerk like this was totally worthy of coming to some god knows where held competition. This isn't over, said Naruto while Constantine slowly rose from the ground. Laugh as much as you wish, Zatanna, but our dear opponents will soon try to take us down, said Naruto. Meanwhile with loud roar, one of the mages attacked the other one. And hell went loose. Fuck. Muttered Naruto, evading the fist of Dr. Fate. Jumping in the air to evade his strikes, Naruto turned around and kicked Constantine, who was trying through curses and his crafty planning which involved the betraying and other stuff. Naruto sighed. He really hated when nearly all fights for really important things end up like a brawl in some third-rate pub. However, Naruto had another plan. Dealing with contestants one by one like true shinobi wasn't an option anymore. So he moved to plan B, kick Fate's ass, like he always did, and destroy all bastards, who he didn't like from the first glance, like he did with Constantine. Azeroth, Methri and Zinthos. Please. It looked like Zatanna and Raven decided to deal with their differences in their own way. Fate tried to hit Naruto's midsection, however, his hand was blocked and twisted under impossible angle. However, someone stopped the finishing blow. Felix Faust decided that it was the right time to strike from behind. Naruto pierced his body with his right arm. Felix disappeared like all who were mortally or gravely wounded. However, Fate seized this moment to escape the hold. Several moments of constant butchery later, the only standing were Naruto and Fate. You were the ones. WHO had reached the final round. From now on, your reward is slightly changed. From now on, the winner will receive the title of the Sorcerer Supreme and the loser will be granted a wish, which the Sorcerer Supreme must grant. So be it, said Fate gathering the magical energy for the strike. Yes. Thought Naruto. Do it. Step right into the trap. Take this. A power blast of golden light hit Naruto right in the center of his chest and he didn't even attempt to protect himself. Next moment they were once again above the Naruto's castle's tower in Latveria. You didn't attempt to protect yourself, said Dr. Fate. And you stepped right into my trap. Now, you must grant me my wish and you cannot use your position of Sorcerer Supreme to deal with me. Since I was summoned to this challenge, I'm the member of this magical society and you cannot use the you are the danger from another dimension, so I must put you down card, said Naruto. You can go now, I'm not your opponent anymore, and I will contact you later, when I will need you to grant my wish. Dr. Fate scoffed at this. Glowing golden Ankh appeared behind him and in bright, also golden, flash, he disappeared. Meanwhile, Naruto started to prepare for the meeting with Mr. Wayne. Also, he wished to require the help of one certain supervillainous and mad scientist, who could help with one of his projects. Recently Naruto started to work over one certain project. He managed to create the substance, which he called Regenerin. It healed the wounds in seconds and can close even the large one, if used in right amount and at the right time. However, it cannot regenerate limbs, and the cure of cancer, which the project started as, was still unreachable. The further tests and experiments made another version of the medicine. However, it fastened the metabolism for such state that it turned the human or any other organism into the living bomb. It was found accidentally when one of the scientists decided to test the cure on himself, hoping to return his arm, which he lost during the accident in the laboratory. He managed to return his arm and even receive superhuman strength alongside the high-speed regeneration. However, everything came with a price. Fortunately, when his health worsened he was in the laboratories. They did all that they could, but in the end all that they managed to do was shorten the list of casualties. It was a miracle that nobody had died. So, as a result he returned to experiments on plants, and aside the economical and scientific might of Wayne Industries, he needed the help of the greatest botanist on the planet, Dr. Pamela Isley. Chapter 2. Thirst for knowledge, especially the forbidden one, never will end well. But as people say, the forbidden fruit tastes better than all. Naruto Von Doom, about obsession of Lex Luthor. Sitting in his personal plane, with glass of wine in his right hand, Naruto thought about the future talks with Mr. Wayne. He looked in the illuminator and thought about his current problems. His spies reported to him that on the science symposium, started by Wayne Industries, will be visited by Lex Luthor, and he could bet that this wasn't some sort of coincidence. The bald bastard was waiting for him to get out of his country. Right now, when Lex decided to try and become the president, he will need the allies. And he alongside Bruce Wayne will be the first in his list. What really surprised Naruto was the fact that in this world there was no teams of the superheroes, which worked worldwide. Of course, there were Teen Titans, created by the former protege of the Dark Knight, Nightwing, where young Zatanna and Raven met and started their rivalry, and Sentinels of Magic, currently led by Zatanna followed by Raven and former thief-turned-hero Jinx. In a way, Hero Society was very similar to bands. Bat Family looked over Gotham, Superman and his Kryptonian relatives looked over Metropolis. Members of each fractions didn't have anything against each other, however, because of their so-called leaders saw each other as a threat, Batman's point of view, and Ferocious Lyncher, Superman's point of view. So, the unity between the two will not be seen in nearby future. However, Power Girl alongside Huntress and Supergirl alongside Batgirl worked really good in pairs. That brought some hope in Naruto's heart. To make sure that his kingdom is prospering he needed a stable world. And without a doubt Alexander Luthor will bring chaos to it if he will not do anything. But what can he do? Those were the thoughts of Naruto as the plane landed in Gotham Airport and he left it for the comfort of his private limousine. Once again with a glass of alcohol in hand he thought about possible strategies against Luthor. First of all, he needed to summarize all that he knew about his opponent. He posed himself as kind and humble man, but inside he was arrogant and rotten. His ego knew no bounds, however he illusioned himself, trying to pose as savior of humanity, while making attempts on Superman's life. He himself believes that he will make humanity a favor, through ridding it of such a threat as Superman, thus claiming a right to lead them for himself. While he sat in his limo, another one passed his machine, with a familiar bald-headed man inside. Since Luthor will be at the point of destination faster than he will be, Naruto continued to foresee the actions of his opponent. Lex may be sadistic and arrogant, but he certainly wasn't foolish. Right now he needed to play fair and not dirty his hands. Recent attack of Darkseid and his role in repelling it has risen his reputation tremendously. Once again as he left the limo, Naruto reminded himself that Lex shouldn't be underestimated. Ah! Mr. Von Doom. What a coincidence. We even arrived at the nearly same time. Coincidence his ass, Luthor stayed here for several minutes, waiting for him. Coincidence? Mr. Luthor, you passed my limo 20 minutes ago. I hardly believe that you get there just a second ago, since there is only one road, and there were no problems with traffic. Sharp as always, said Lex. Just the man I need. And what kind of man do you actually need? And why should I even try to work with you? Despite your accomplishments in the politics and business, your personal vendetta against the Superman has yet to achieve any kind of positive, at least for you, change, said Naruto. Lex narrowed his eyes. Be as it may be, but I found the reason why. I need someone with the same mindset as me. Someone who knows what responsibility and debt to his people means. Someone like you. And what part of me screams, hey, I'm insane sadistic bastard? Asked Naruto. Of course I look all dark and gloom in my armor. Bruce, seriously, you will have better success in hiring Batman for your cause than me, said Naruto, moving past Luther. Not bad idea, actually. Thought Luther. If the main plan with the presidency fails, I can always use this one. Batman vs Superman. Human against a being with powers equal to God. Sharp mind against brute power. Just the thought about it sends shivers down my spine. Meanwhile, on the balcony for the VIP clients, Naruto listened to the speech of Bruce Wayne. I thank you for coming here, all these bright minds, who gathered here, for scientific symposium made by Wayne Industries. I hope here you will inspiration for new ideas and sponsors for your projects. With these words he ended his long speech and went to the balcony. Naruto waited for Bruce, slowly sipping wine through his metal mask. In old Fantastic Four, when Dr. Doom talks with Susan Storm, it was showed. Mr. Wayne, greeted said man, Naruto, when he entered the room. I hope you will hear the reason of my visit, before denying even the possibility of our companies working together over one project. Maybe I will listen, said Bruce. Good, then let me show you, said Naruto, moving aside and showing him. A plant. Plant? What's so special about it? Asked Wayne. Special isn't the plant itself, it's the stuff that we put inside. Now, observe. Naruto ripped off one of the leaves, and under astonished eyes of Bruce Wayne, it regrew in mere seconds. What? How? Bruce made a step to the plant, but hand clad in metal glove, gripped his shoulder firmly and stopped him in his tracks. Naruto nodded in direction of the plant. Under surprised eyes of Bruce Wayne, plant glowed with bright orange light, and seconds later small explosion happened. As you can see, we managed to create the serum, which I called Regenerin. Unfortunately, even has failed at primary purpose, regenerate lost limbs. Thus we created the new serum and it did what was needed. However, the metabolism was fastened so much that it turns the subject, in our case plant, into the living bomb. You speak like you had tested it on people, said Bruce. Part of the reason why I'm here, one of the doctors tested it on himself. Poor man wanted to hug his wife with both hands once again, even if I had offered him the cybernetic replacement. Now the wife is a widow and their son I fatherless. Moreover, I had lost an entire research facility and barely managed to save all the personnel, aside the said doctor, who worked there. You still didn't explain, why do you need Wayne Industries, said Bruce. Because alone, I will reach the so desired result in decades, but together with you it will be months, maybe several years. Finally, after all these years the cure for cancer will be made. Our names will be put in history books, Bruce. And it is very needed for someone, who is portrayed by other countries as usurper and tyrant. They do not even care for the fact that it was me, who picked Latveria up, piece by piece, roared he the final words in anger. Bruce placed his hand on the metal shoulder pad of Naruto's armor. As a child of a doctor, I know how harsh it was for my father to lose his patients. He was an excellent doctor, but even he failed before the cancer. So if you wish to create a cure from it, I'm in. Good, said Naruto, shaking the stretched hand. By the way, I need another favor from you. Blackgate Prison. Secured cage of a certain red-haired villainess. Ivy looked at the ceiling and small smile crawled up her lips. Her conquest of Harley was progressing rather well. Joker with all his insanity slowly lost positions after she stated to give the blonde woman the injections. She scowled. Even with all her efforts, Harley's mind was too destroyed by Joker and too bound to him. Of course. Smile returned to her face. There were another means to comfort and get Harley away from Mr. J, which she used with a lot of passion. Harley after all had a really soft skin and sexy butt, and Ivy shook her head. She needed to focus on the problems ahead. First of all, she must get out of here. Suddenly the doors opened and policemen in the suits, which protected them from her pheromones, got inside. Pamela Isley. You have a visitor. They convoyed her through the dark corridors of the Blackgate, to heavily secured room, used for meetings. One of the policemen released her of her shackles and left, leaving her alone in the room. I hope they weren't too rough on you? Asked the voice from darkness. Pamela turned her head and saw a man in the armor and dark cloak sitting behind the table. And you are? Asked Isley. Well, you must have heard about me, if you had ever looked the TV in these several days. I'm Naruto von Doom, sovereign monarch of Latveria. Ah. A European tyrant. European tyrant? Something new, I heard about the tyrant of Latveria. But then again, nicknames just stick to people, said Naruto. Why are you here anyway? Asked Ivy. I'm in need of one certain red-haired botanist skills. Answered Naruto. And why do you think that I will do this instead of this? Asked Ivy, using her pheromones on Naruto. That's very big mistake, said Naruto. I don't think so, said she. Now obey me. Naruto didn't bulge. Obey me, screamed Ivy, releasing the increase of her pheromones. She knew that even with the greatest filters in the armor which he had probably had, there was absolutely no chance that her pheromones didn't pass through them. She felt them inside him. However, he didn't follow her commands. Obey me, screamed she, now more out of fear than any other feeling. Now he moved. He slowly rose to his full height. Black eyelashes of his mask looked into her eyes, and with one word he answered to her. No. When Doom searched for an heir, one of the primary criteria was a characteristic that Doom also had, an indomitable will. Once he withstood the might of the mightiest telepath and also the man, whose ability was to bend the will of others to his own. Add to boot that this ability was amplified by the invention of Victor. And you will see the odds he was against. So, from his heir he wanted nothing less than this. Being someone who will never bend before anyone, will that be a god, a demon, or someone else. Thus when Ivy decided to use her pheromones on him, she lost even before she knew about it. Naruto forced Ivy into the seat in front of him and returned to his. You see now, Ivy? The will is the only thing that matters. The will is something that will never leave you. It will always be with you, and through sheer willpower you can achieve greatness like no other. You saw what my will can do. You saw what kind powers it gives to me. Then why do you need me? Asked Ivy. Because you are the someone who can greatly help my cause, and I can change you in return, said he. I will help you, Lord Doom. But I will also need something from you. It's about someone who need help. And I'm the only one who cares and can give her one. Thanks for listening, and remember, the disrespect is real. Goodbye.